ESPN put together several lists this week. One was the top 50 players in college football since 2000. One was the top 50 quarterback, or this is what, top 80 here? Is that what they go to?
Top 80, I believe.
Top 80 quarterbacks of the 2000s. They had Baker Mayfield listed at number 1 on this list, and on the other list they put together, they had Baker Mayfield as the second greatest player since 2000 after Ndamukong Suh. Do they need to go back and watch Cam Newton tape?
Yeah, see, here's the problem with this list. The minute you don't have Cam Newton, or you can even make an argument for Vince Young, or possibly even Tim Tebow as number 1, and you have Baker Mayfield number 1, it nullifies this whole list. I can't take anything you say seriously. If you walk into the party and the first thing you say to me is the earth is flat, I can't take anything else you say seriously. So if you miss on the most common, and I don't care who you're a fan of, I think like 90% of college football fans would agree that this list starts off in the worst way possible. I'll tell you this also. I got a ton of respect for Matt Leinart. What Matt Leinart did at USC was incredible. I'll take C.J. Stroud, who's 4 spots worse on this list than Matt Leinart, any day of the week over Matt Leinart, over Colt McCoy. Johnny Manziel at 13 is laughable to me. So I'll go back to what we said about the College Football 25 EA Sports list. Y'all had to just I think most people that make lists nowadays are just trying to piss people off, because that's what gets the most clickbait, right? That's what gets the most eyes, are these crazy-ass lists. Our friend Big Game Boomer, who I disagree with on about 80% of his lists, got social media famous because some of his lists were so egregious. I mean, it seems nowadays if you try and put together a list that's logical or rational, you know what people say? Oh, man, that's a good list. But then you put on a list like this, like, guys, have you seen this absolute trash hot dog water-filled list that was put together? So
look, if
I would take Pat White.
Bailey Zappe's getting robbed.
I mean,
that guy has the most passing yards ever.
Bro, I'll take Pat White over Matt Leinart.
80th.
I'll take Pat White over Matt Leinart in a second.
Man.
In a second.
Yeah, all right, so the top 10 here: Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tim Tebow, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Marcus Mariota, and Robert Griffin III. I mean, to me, Cam Newton, Joe Burrow, and Tim Tebow are the top 3. Those are the 3 that I could accept to be at number 1.
I'm putting Johnny Bands at 2.
That begs a good question here. So do you guys consider the total college career, or is one show-out season like Joe Burrow and like Cam Newton had, like, is that enough?
That's enough to me.
It is to me, too, just because you can't control how long you play in college.
Yeah, I look at everything, and I don't want to penalize Matt Leinart for having Reggie Bush and all these great players around
or Ken Dorsey.
That's not his fault. But if I'm looking at the player, if I am starting a team from scratch, and let's say the team is just going to be okay. Let's say we're just okay around the quarterback. Bro, you think I'm taking Baker Mayfield over Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tim Tebow, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson? I would take Baker Mayfield should be somewhere around 15 on this list. And Baker's a dog.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to be one of the top 15 QBs of the 2000s, Baker is elite. I mean, he did, at his size, like what he did was incredible. But, bro, if I'm starting a team from scratch and I got to take the best quarterbacks of the 2000s, Baker Mayfield ain't even in the top 10.
Hell is Kellen Moore 14th?
Yeah, so and look, Kellen Moore did less with more than Charmin Ultra, dude. But at the end of the day, you think I'm going to take Kellen Moore over Andrew Luck?
Or even Geno Smith is at 74.
You're taking Kellen Moore over Pat White.
Pat White's another
Pat
good
White
one.
was a dog.
Like these people who made this list, well, here's the thing. I think they do know. That's my whole point. These lists now, and it sucks because for the people who really want to be informed, for the people that really want good lists out there that can actually spark good debate, because this isn't a good debate because it's obvious. It's like every time you turn on some of these sports shows where all they do is scream at each other about obvious stuff because one person takes some wild side of it because they know that gets views and clicks. I just think it waters it down, man. And it's just trash. I think they know what they're doing, so we'll sit here and talk about it.
Again, Ken Dorsey at 40 is a great example of someone who played on tremendous teams with a lot of talent and did well enough for them to compete for national championships and had a very high winning percentage. Like, I was a big fan of watching Ken Dorsey back in the day. But at that point, it's like, okay, you're putting him at 40, and and it seems like they grouped him and Stetson Bennett together, with Stetson being at 41. But then you don't also have someone like, say, a J.J. McCarthy, who had a very similar situation, to be the highest winning percentage.
It's because there's no rationale to this list. That's the problem with it. It's the same thing we talked about with the video game. Like, it's instead of how can I put the best list together? And again, it's hard to make a perfect list. You can make logical, rational arguments about a lot of different aspects of lists, but that's not what they do. The question they ask is not how can we put together the best list, it's how can we put together a list that will piss people off the most. That's the play. And it works. I mean, we're obviously talking about it, but I'm not going to lower myself, and I know y'all aren't going to lower y'all's standard into coming up with some, close your kids' ears, Billy Jack bullshit like this is.
Where's Matthew Stafford?
I didn't see him.
He's not. Matt Stafford's not on that list.
David Green's at 73.
Yeah, it's trash. Throw it away. Just throw it away. I'm shocked.
Colt Brennan?
ESPN's wrong. Colt Brennan was a dude. Colt Brennan's on there. I saw him. He's at 45 or 46, I can't tell. Hey, what's up, YouTube? Do us a favor. If you hate football, don't subscribe to this channel. Just don't do it.